Yo, you already know your boy Professor Pippin back in it, trying to drop another video for you guys. Yes, drop another video, see what we can do. What I'm looking at right now is putting out a compare and contrast video, showing what I thought was going to happen from last weekend analysis and how price action actually played out. Now, looking at AU's chart, we won't actually see how the weekend analysis was, simply because I trade AU throughout the week and the markets obviously adjust throughout the week to where you're able to take trades. So at the end on AU, I kind of will go through and show how the market developed, how I took trades, and the ones that I won, the ones that I lost, and the ones that I got out early where I should have kept letting run, but you know, it is what it is. So we're gonna flip over to Bitcoin first. I know Bitcoin is not still marked up, but coming into the weekend, what I was telling my team was we pushed above highs, looking left. What we had was price action started to consolidate, and I know in the back of my mind is I know Bitcoin likes to manipulate before it goes in the direction it wants to continue in. And when we got here, if you hit that bar replay, it was pretty much something like this. So as we're looking at it, I know there are no markers on this chart, but when you look at a pair consistently for a long time, sometimes you don't have to put the markers on. You can come to the chart and see exactly what you need to see, and then make a decision from right there. Like I said, price action was pushing bullish. We were looking for how we potentially could have got in trades for over the weekend, and as I sent out the initial. See this AU. I missed AU shorts. But on Bitcoin, we're looking to see we pushed and broke above highs, and we're looking to see where the potential retracement would come back to. Um, yeah, and then potentially see what we could buy from, potentially take the market higher. But what we see was what I was looking for was the market potentially to short off from here. But I knew in the back of my mind I hadn't seen that manipulation just yet. So as we continue to go into market close on Friday into Saturday, I started to say, okay, well, maybe this was the manipulation. And I kind of forgot about this wick here. And as you can see, price action came back to fill that wick, which was the manipulation I was looking for. And then it started to it's where it is now in the market is starting to go somewhat bearish, but here was that manipulation. Price action pushed up. Had I paid attention more to this wick, when I was looking uh for the trend to pull back some more to take price higher, I would have known that this would have been. I would have waited to see what type of manipulation I got based off of this with price action to fill that wick. Potentially had a selling entry from up there, and then watch the market come back down to either this 4 hour level or back to this 4 hour level before it pushed higher. Ultimately, I think what we're doing is getting people interested and involved back into the crypto world, and then close this imbalance right up here, and then it might sink again. And then because I ultimately wanted to see it go back down to 10K, or that's why I think it may go once it started dropping. Let me see, this was the 16. We came back to the support here off the weekly, and start to retrace. And as you can see, we still have quite a bit of ways to retrace to a 50% level of this complete drop right here. This price action is still bearish, in my opinion, as far as being on Bitcoin. And what you're seeing, like I said before, I think this is what's going to get people interested to say, okay, we were back bullish if you don't know how to properly read the charts. But ultimately, it's just a retracement to potentially come all the way back down to the 10K level, is where I had it based off of one of my earlier analysis. I saw it coming back to about 10 of them things. So be careful with that. And as you move into current times, you say, okay, well, price action is still bullish. It's starting to shift bearish on the 1 hour. Potentially the next resistance is right down here if we break this one right here. If not, potentially this could have been the retracement we needed, the new higher low to push price higher. We just kind of got to wait to see what happens right here. And that support is around 23,500 level. So if you start to see price action create structure below 23,500, it's probably coming back down to about 22,700 level, 22,500, 23,500, 22,500. So that'll be the range I'll be looking for to see how price action reacts up in there before to see if it resumes back bullish. But if you move back over to GJ on the 1 hour chart, we can compare and contrast what I outlined for the weekend. So this was market open this previous Sunday that just passed. I know it's Sunday now, so this is where we are currently. So once I do my weekend analysis here shortly, the market will be over here, or from I'll be analyzing, then we'll be weekly open here. But previous week was over here. So what we were looking for to see was we realized on the higher time frame the market was bullish, but we did break below this trend line here. I don't really trade based off trend lines, but it's just another confluence you can add if you do know how to identify and use them. But what we saw was a price action break below this trend line, and then we started to we had this lower high that created a lower low on the 4 hour time frame. So we wanted to see if price action was able to continue here, will we continue bullish? If we continue below here, will we continue bearish? And price action opened up. One of the first things you wanted to look for to see was how price action reacted if we pulled back to this 1 hour resistance. And as you can see, price action closed above. So if I was trading GJ, potentially could have had a buy opportunity there back into the 4 hour highs. And then once it came above this continuation buy zone, potentially had a buy opportunity right up in here, targeting that probably would have been a daily high, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, 2 weekend ago, weekend analysis, we identified this as a consolidated market. So yeah, just a high point in the market right here. Would have been a target from the continuation buys, and then go back to the hourly chart. What we had was continuation sales below this red line here, 162,995. And what we got was a break of that level. If you wasn't watching this live action, you potentially could have missed this trade right here. So because it didn't break and then come back to that zone immediately. I did catch this move right here. This is the 28th. Let me see what date was it. I think, yeah, that was on Thursday. So coming into the Asian session on Thursday, what I did was, let's see if we in the red spot, identify this correctly. So coming from the New York session, what I saw was price action was bearish after it pushed into this high. High, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. What I did was drag the fields from this lower high to this lower low, and I placed the entry. I wanted to see, let me see, was this already up here? Yeah, it would have had to be because that was 8 o'clock. So at this point, that was a sell stop right here for the idea for this trade that price action was going to continue to go bearish. And I didn't actually take this trade. It's more of a paper trade. But the idea was as price action came down here from this lower high to the lower low, we wanted to see 50% retracement to continue the pattern / structure that was going up here. And then the sell stop would have been activated there, and then targeting a level that we had identified from the weekend analysis that if price action broke and closed below here, that this would have been a target level from the way price action set up looking left. And then, potentially if we get below that level, then we got a level below that we can target right down here. So ultimately on GJ, definitely had some opportunities based off of, how things were analyzed and identified throughout the weekend analysis. And then, come back to the charts, you see what price action is, how it's respecting your levels. It's not respecting your levels. If you're expecting a pullback here early within the week, as we close above this 1 hour resistance, definitely could have had buys up into this next 1 hour resistance, and then could have took profits there, or just saw or held on to the trade to see if we were going to continue back up to that high point right up there. But overall, I didn't take any trades on GJ last week. More or less, I wanted to come to the market, identify where I would take a trade idea from, and then see how it plays out. And overall, as we see, definitely could have had some opportunities there. Switching over to GU. GU from the weekend analysis, we identified pretty much same as GJ. Price action was bullish. No price action on GJ was consolidating, but on GU, short term price action was bullish. We were breaking above lower highs from the higher time frame, meaning the daily, with this gray box here in the background. And what we wanted to see was if price could close and maintain above 2646 area, then potentially we could, as price broke above and came back to retest, we potentially could have had a buy opportunity as we retested that level there. And as you can see, price broke above. If you were sitting at the charts and you trade GU like that, you could have potentially had the breakout trade from down here, Something because price action from it would be now 1, 2, 3 weeks ago. Price action had been bullish that whole time, making higher highs and higher lows. And if you properly identify the charts, this was the previous higher low that pushed price into the highs. We came back to retest. So potentially, if you were looking for longs from down here, you could have potentially had an entry. And then as price action started to continue on the lower time frame to shift structure back bullish from this little downtrend here, then you potentially could have had a entry as price create the high, create the low, pushed higher, and then came back to retest that lower price action pushed higher from. Potentially could have had a buy from there, and then the bullish continuation buy zone. There's another opportunity here. So overall, the way this was outlined from the weekend analysis, probably just one trade on GU probably would have been taken, just waiting for this bullish continuation trade idea to play out, and that's probably what it would have been on GU. Kicking over to NU, pretty much the same as GU, yeah. Bullish continuation zone. Move this over. Mm, yeah, this one probably would have been. If I was taking trades off NU, I probably would have tried to find some type of buy opportunity right in over in this area. Something because we broke above, came back. We kind of closed below that area, but immediately got back out, above that level. So as price action would have, shown me something on a lower time frame. Um, Probably potentially could have gotten a trade right here. I don't know. I don't trade NU like that, so this would have been. I wouldn't have been too excited to enter based off of this price action because what you have is price action is bullish, higher time frames. You come in here, you start to consolidate a good bit. You created a high back in on July 22nd. You created a low on July 27th, and now you're just now first time retesting that high on July 28th. So um, it hadn't really continued in a motion at this point within the market to say price action definitely is going to go higher. You got a high, low, lower high, lower low. Right now, you're pulling back. You broke structure, but depending on how you watch the markets and analyze the markets, will give you the insight to say, yeah, I know this is going to keep going bullish, but overall, potentially could have had a buy on NU. I don't know. Depending on how I would have been feeling, what I would have came to the chart. If I don't like the setup I was seeing, and the price action and the candles was looking good, then yeah, I probably would have got in. But overall, not real confident on anything on NU right now. Price action is sort of setting up to play out, but we did push above and pull back. So this was another thing I was looking for. Um, this move here to grab the liquidity of all these stops. And because this price action is so choppy, it's not just a straight push and then a pullback. That would have been another reason why I'm like, I don't know if I want to get in with price action, just not impulsively going bullish or impulsively going bearish. And then once I came to the charts, like on Thursday or Friday, and saw price action push into this 1 hour resistance and close above, like I said, I identified all the liquidity that was built of people who were getting in um, looking for buys back in above these zones over here. Their stop losses more or less would have been right under here, which is identified with this purple, circle thing right here. And then yeah, price action pulled back, stopped them all out, and now it's going back bullish. So coming into this week, what I'll be looking for is to see, does price action continue back above this resistance and make it back up into that daily resistance, sitting at about 90 pips away. So definitely got plenty of opportunities to potentially get active within the New Zealand USD market if you trade into the USD. Clicking over to UJ, coming from the weekend analysis, what we had was price action was somewhat bearish, making lower lows and lower highs on the 1 hour chart. If we're going to go back bullish, we need to see a breaking continuation trade above 138, 102. As you can see, price action came and opened up bullishly, but once it pulled back to about, look like 50% of this move from here to here, it's just noted. For the downside, bearish continuation zone, we would want to see a price action close below this level and then come back to retest. That hasn't happened just yet. And then as price action continued throughout the week, I came back in and drew these 4 hour supports and resistance in. Price action broke below the 4 hour support and came back to retest. So continuation sales definitely could have set up right there if you're watching these markets actively. I don't really trade UJ at all, but the way I identify the market, my chart analysis definitely play out to where I could come back and definitely have a trade idea excuse me, coming from this level, price action broke below, comes back to retest. Potentially could have stops above this wick, or you want to play a 6 back up and up here. Ooh, that's a lot of pills. That's at 101. Ooh, yeah, I don't know if I would have had 101 pill start loss, but overall the risk to reward is still 1.5. You came back to break, you came back to retest and you broke to the downside, and then we had liquidity building looking left, so potentially definitely could have had targets all the way down here because we know when we're able to identify liquidity looking left, price action moves swiftly through those levels. You get big candles instead of choppy price action back through those levels. So as you continue to watch the charts, continue to look over your price action, you will notice when you start to see those equal lows or equal highs, if the price action going in the other direction, price action coming back down or pushing back up, pushes through those levels quite swiftly. So definitely could have been targeting something looking down here, but ultimately would have probably had TP1, something like right up in here. Then, if you left it running, then right down to this area here. But what I would expect this week, potentially, let's see if we get a retracement back into this I'll probably have to mark this completed over because the daily levels were broken. So, yeah, anytime on my charts with daily levels are broken, you definitely need to reanalyze. Sometimes 4 hour levels, like on AU, they like to get manipulated. Sometimes I won't remark or reanalyze. I will reanalyze as far as like looking at what I think is going to happen. What I mean, reanalyze as far as move the levels or change the levels. Um, so like on AU, I know the Asian session likes to manipulate that level a lot and then come back down. But what was we on UJ? This would be a complete break of that level, and then now potentially waiting for another higher time frame retracement to that level. So these levels need to be, potentially reanalyzed as to where this will be now the high point, and then the low points right down here. Pushing over to gold. Mm, Gold was a little bit tricky to analyze. So I wasn't real confident in the analysis going into gold. But what I had was coming from the weekend analysis. If you had the chart replay, let's see if we can bring it big, bring it big. And all of these analyses are dropped off in the group chat. If you've watched any of my videos before, we drop them all down in the group chat, come in and kind of give everybody the opportunity what I'm, looking at for the most part on for the week. I think this is gold. Yeah. So this is how it would have came out. This would already started though. This was July 20th. The weekend started on the 28th. But anyway, yeah, videos or the chart analysis is dropped within the group. And when we come to the charts from the weekend analysis, this is what price action look like. So what we have is 1 hour support, 1 hour resistance. Then I also sometimes draw on a 15-minute level support and resistance that also kind of gives me an indication of where I think price action is going to come back to the support first, or if it holds up the support on the 15-minute chart, there's a high potential that it will come back to the 1 hour resistance first. So when you hit that bar replay, you kind of get to see what I mean when I identify that level, and to say if we can stay above, then there's a high possibility we'll come back to that 1 hour resistance. So when I was outlining this from the weekend analysis, price action overall was bearish from the higher time frames. So what the thought process is to see how far this price action retrace to where we can potentially find a resistance to potentially take the market shorter or lower. But what you have to realize is by price action pulling back to that level you waiting for to take a short, it's creating bullish structure. So in the back of your mind, you have to be able to identify and see, okay, and be patient enough to say, okay, well, while this bullish structure is creating, I have to make sure I don't get trapped within that bullish structure, thinking price action is going to go back bearish. And that's why I had this outline here in the background of what I thought a bullish scenario would look like if price action was to continue to go bullish. And as you can see, as you continue that bar replay, if you're looking for shorts from right up here, something because the market, last week or the week before melted off from there before, potentially, yeah, you could have taken the shorts back into that 1 hour support, but ultimately, price action did not break the low that pushed you into the highs. So this is where you have to have the knowledge within the market to say, okay, we might not continue to go bearish just yet because we are pushing into support and aren't breaking through support. right now we are reacting from this level and going bearish, but overall we still haven't broken anything from any of the price action structure that pushed us into those highs. So as you continue to hit that bar replay, you can see how that support still maintains and holds up and eventually ended up pushing the market higher. So if I was trading gold, that would have been one of the things that I would have been paying attention to. If I think this bullish trend is going to continue, what I want to see is price action shift from creating bearish structure on the lower time frames to now creating bullish structure, higher highs and higher lows. Um, Otherwise, if I thought it was going to continue bearish, I want to see it close below this 1 hour support. And then you run into a high traffic area with a daily support right down here and also a 4 hourly support. So definitely if I want to continue to short gold, prime entry potentially could be up here, but it's probably gonna be some rough traffic to get. It'll be a lot of back and forth traffic price action to get back through these resistance to the downside. So this was the bullish outcome of what I thought could potentially happen. I did not take this trade, and this is what played out. Like I said, price action was already creating bullish structure to get back to this retracement point of the bearish trend from the higher time frames. So um, yeah, potentially I would have taken this long, targeting maybe 4 hour highs as price action continued to retrace. And once we got above here, it would have been, yeah, your bearish trend could be potentially starting to shift. Let's get to the end. And at this point, you're now waiting to see if price action ever shifts out of this bullish trend back to a bearish trend, making lower lows and lower highs. But right now, it is big bullish on the lower time frames. On the 4 hour, we just closed above. I guess you can call that supply demand right down here. We just closed above supply zone. And the next major one is way up here around 1800s. So if we can get above this low resistance level here, then definitely we'll be looking to target the where we at? My buttons at? Yep, something like right up there. But you have to be able to come to the charts and realize and identify if the market and the structure is continuing to go big bullish. SPX, yeah, this is pretty much really simple. From the weekend analysis, price action was creating bullish structure. So if we closed above four, I think it says 4001.6, yeah, we close above there, then targets potentially daily extremes. If we start to create bearish structure, we did start to build liquidity right over here. So we came back, grabbed that liquidity, and skyrocketed up out of there. If price action would have come down again, then I would identify as price action starting to build liquidity on this side, not necessarily built up there. So that one was a little premature, but this one definitely, yeah, with the equal lows. Yeah. Break above, got buys into the highs, break below, got shorts into these supports. And it's out of there. So NASDAQ pretty much the same. Breaking up, breaking up, breaking up. On that 1 hour chart, was looking at this Thursday night on the live stream. If you watch the channel, go back, you can review how we had this whole trade idea right here outlined and set up. As you can see, the 38.2 is the level that it was identified during that live video session. And if you go back, it completely identifies and explains why we take the trade from here or from down here, and then where to put the stops. And if you would have, caught that analysis, you pretty much would have had pretty much a sniper entry and some pretty much excellent take profits. I don't trade NASDAQ. This is just something one of the people in my group brought up, and we went over there and broke it down. And I said, this is the way I would attack, and these are the things that I would look for, and there it is. So I won't really much, break that down because if you go back and you check out the other video, you definitely see that. So, but from the weekend analysis, I don't know. Yeah, from the weekend analysis, price action was bullish. Coming back from over here, price action opened up and created a high. Oh wait, this is 2 weeks ago. Market opened on the 28th. I think. Wait, no. See, 24th. Market opened on the 24th. So the weekly open is something like this. And calm. All right. So what you would have had was previous price action was bullish. What we could look for to see is, does price action break these highs, or do we retrace and give a retracement of this big bullish impulse here? What you had was market open, started creating lower lows and lower highs all the way until 26, which was Tuesday. Okay, so Monday or Sunday night, or yeah, Sunday and Monday created bearish price action until Tuesday. Tuesday shifted the structure right over here. You got the high, the low, lower high, lower low, break above. Continue to break above, new higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and continue on, continue on. Yeah. So if you was watching this market around Tuesday, Monday to Tuesday, you saw you were bearish into Tuesday, and then Tuesday you shifted the structure and started going bullish. Go back. And from there, Thursday, we had what we had with the 4-hour low. And then we explained why we couldn't have a 4-hour high just yet. So we had the 1-hour high. Then you come down to the 15. Yeah. First reaction level or the first support on the 15-minute. We identified what we were waiting from there. And then down here, we identified what we were waiting from there. And then right here, we also identified what we were waiting for here to let us know if we can get into a trade or not. And yeah, the 382 is where it happened, and pretty much there it is. So that's pretty much I got for all this. That's pretty much all I got for this comparing trash. If you like what you see, hit that like button for me. I greatly appreciate it. Helps with the algorithm of more people getting a chance to see these videos. And maybe it can definitely improve or help out their trading ideas and psychology within the market. We got that weekend analysis coming up next. So, if you're looking out for that, stay tuned. Otherwise, like, subscribe, hit that like button, smash that like button, hit that like button, smash that like button, hit that like button one more time for you, boy. Appreciate you watching. I'm out of there.